Can your business be sold? Today, I'm going to explain some transformative business advice that I got before I started my business that has literally made me millions and millions of dollars, that I see people making mistakes every day when they start a business. So many people are in the wrong business. They don't think before they start a business. They just say, oh, well, I want to start a business. Here, I'll just start this one. And they don't think, am I in the right business? And the most important thing when you're starting a business is, can you sell that business? Because if you can't sell the business, you don't have a business, you have a job. And you could have a high-paying job. You could have a business that can't be sold but pays you a lot of money. That's okay, but you're not building equity. And I'll tell you today why equity is super important. And I'm going to explain why you need to start a business that you can sell. But really, the reason that people get into the wrong business is really because it's kind of low-hanging fruit. Very easy to make money in these businesses that you can't sell. You can buy a truck or just start the business out of thin air and you can start making money. So a lot of people get stuck in the money trap, but they're not planning for the future. They're not planning for the long-term future of having equity in a business that can be sold for millions of dollars. Okay, so I'm going to tell you 5 reasons today how to know if you're in the wrong business. And these are telltale signs to know if you're in the wrong business. So when you're thinking about starting a business, or you have a business now, you need to ask these questions to yourself and make sure that you're starting the correct business that can be sold. And there's 5 things that really make a business have extraordinary value that can be sold. The first one is reoccurring revenue. If you follow me, you know that I talk about reoccurring revenue all the time, because reoccurring revenue is the most important thing in a business. If you don't have reoccurring revenue, I don't want to buy your business. I enjoy buying businesses. I want to go invest in businesses. I will not invest, nor will other private equity companies invest in businesses that do not have recurring revenue. An example of this is a roofing company. You put a roof on a house, you're not going to put another roof on that house for another 30 years unless a storm comes through. But really, that is a single revenue activity. Okay, so you want to be in a business that has recurring revenue, because that makes that business super attractive, and you don't have to go out and find new revenue. People with non-recurring revenues, like a roofing company, every day they got to be hitting the pavement, knocking on doors, finding new revenue, like real estate, a realtor, right? You have to find your next deal. Very low recurring revenue. Maybe somebody sells again in 7 to 8 years, but your sale tomorrow has to be discovered, okay? So find businesses with recurring revenue so you can then create yourself more passive income within that business. Number 2 is businesses that usually can't be sold have a low barrier of entry. This means that it's very easy to start this business, that anybody with a truck can literally roll up and start this business, like a cleaning company, right? Very easy to start this business. So it's going to be harder to sell because anybody can just hop in and become your competition. Usually prices are driven down, like a lawn care. Anybody knows most people know how to cut lawn, and especially residential, people come in and cut prices all the time because it's very easy to start that business. So the harder it is to start, the more skill that it requires, right? I own an insurance agency. Well, I had to get a license for that. I have to have experience in that business, and that's why I'm successful. And you think of a dentist, right? Nobody can just become a dentist without 6 to 7 years of, consistent education after college. Then that's going to be really hard for them to be successful in that business. So find a business that has a little bit, go get educated in something, go take a class in something for a couple weeks so you can get more knowledge, so you can start a business as a little bit more higher barrier of entry. Okay, number 3, this business that can't be sold usually is hard to scale past the local level. Okay, so if your business, you're the top painting company, you're the top flooring company in your city, really hard to scale that business into the next city, right? So that business may not be sold for as high because you have a targeted segment in a local area. That means that the revenue has a top to it. What a lack of scalability really means is that you have a glass ceiling to your business. And most people who want to buy a business don't want to buy a business that has a glass ceiling. They want to buy a business that they can increase revenue and potentially decrease expenses. So a localized business that cannot be easily expanded is a business that people don't want to buy. Now, if they can franchise that business, right, a home improvement company may be hard to start in another city, but if you have great models and a way to get leads and a proven track record, you could potentially franchise that business and be able to scale it. So you got to be looking ahead. Can this business be scaled? Number 4, you can't be scaled, Number 4, you can't rationally get above $1 million in profit. Private equity companies want to come in and buy businesses that are around $1 million in profit. This allows them to come in at the multiple on $1 million profit business. Usually goes up 1 to 2 times. What that means is when you were $500,000 in profit, you were getting a 3 times multiple. Now when you get to $1 million, you're getting a 5 times multiple. That means 3 times 5 is 1.5 million. 5 times 1 million is 5 million. Okay, so you've literally multiplied your wealth by graduating to the next profit step to be able to sell that business. So you want to be in a business that really you can be able to literally retire off selling that business for 3 to 4 million. And you're not going to get there unless you hit that million in profit level. So when you're starting this business, you're thinking about, or the business that you're in, how can I get my profit to $1 million? Is that possible? What's that going to take? Because that should be the target for you. The target should be getting to that $1 million profit area. And then at that point, do you want to scale further or do you want to sell? And if you want to sell, finding an opportunity in which you could sell for at least 3 to 5 times the multiple, which is 3 to 5 million, I would highly consider selling that and then starting a business in another segment and redoing it again. Okay. Number 5, will there be a need for that business in 10 to 15 years? Okay, so is that business a need or is it a short-term thing? I see a lot of people starting solar panel installation businesses, right? Is that going to be around in 10 years, 15 years? Is that going to be more localized in the government? Are people going to have solar panels on their house in 10 years? We don't know, right? So that may not be a business that's going to be around. That's a quick money grab business, which is not thinking long-term. And that's also not a reoccurring revenue business, right? So what we want to look at is the livelihood of our business going to be put into challenge by geopolitical, which is a change in government policy, a new technology, right? A lot of AI is coming in, building websites now, a lot of AI. So if you're a website builder, you could hire an AI website to do it for $10, so they're going to pay you $2,000. Maybe that's a business that might be disappearing. I don't know. But is there new technology coming in that's going to disrupt that business? Is there going to be a need locally? You need to be thinking of these things so when you're building something, because it takes a lot of effort to build a business. Trust me, I've done it. And it's a lot of effort, a lot of hardship. You want to make sure that you're not wasting your time. You only have one life, and you want to make sure that you're punching at the right target, because if you're punching at the wrong target, you could be looking up in 10 years and you're like, man, why did I start that business? Because I didn't get put out of business because I didn't work hard. I got put out of business because there's literally no need for it, okay? So these are the 5 things that you want to consider before starting a business to make sure that you're maximizing its sellability. Obviously, the last one, no one's going to buy your business if there's no need for it. So make sure that you're thinking critically before you start a business of how you're going to be able to sell that business. And the 5 things that I mentioned today, you will need to pay attention to and make sure that that's happening in your business or the business that you're going to start. If you ever have any questions on a business to start or a business to buy, I'm always available. You can book a call in the link of my channel page here on YouTube, and I would be happy to have a phone call with you and see if I can help you out become a business owner and start making big money today. Thank you.